Hello students, this is Saif Mahmoud Azaz from MYP2, and in this English summative assessment, I'll be talking about African American women who face discrimination and racism throughout their life. Hundreds of years ago, women with a different race used to get treated badly. This is because of their skin color, and that caused a lot of challenges throughout their life. The types of challenges that African American women used to face throughout their lives included discrimination. Two types of discrimination, which were related to race and gender. The types of struggles that African American women used to face throughout their lives included many stuff, like enslavement and forced labor, lack of legal rights, resistance and activism to gain their rights, and educational barriers. African American women faced events like segregation, the suffrage movement, inequality of chances, and discrimination, and later on we're going to know how these events shaped their experiences. Another action that showed that African American women actually never gave up on their rights is the suffrage movement. The suffrage movement refers to the struggle for the privilege of women to vote and run for office, and is part of the overall women's rights movement at that time. Another thing they faced was the inequality of chances and discrimination. Black women inequalities include significant inequalities in health. These inequalities mean that they are more likely to have high blood pressure, develop diabetes, and die from cardiovascular disease, hypertension, stroke, lupus, and several cancers. Now, how did the events that I said earlier shape the African American women's experiences throughout their lives? These events made their lives miserable, with very little hope. But after all, they still never gave up and still tried to gain their rights. This shows that African American women really suffered throughout their lives, and how they did anything and everything to gain their rights back and to live as a normal person. Until now, there are still African American women who face racism, violence, and segregation. But of course, cases that are related to this have decreased by a lot. This is because times have changed, unlike before. Now, there are minor problems that are related to this situation, like bullying in school, for example. What are some other issues that African American women still face until now? Issues include discriminatory healthcare practices, perception in the workplace, racism, violence, and bullying. There are still some discriminatory health practices, but thankfully there are anti-discriminatory practices. These practices ensure that everyone receives fair and respectful treatments. It also involves understanding, respecting, and valuing diversity. In addition, that through effective diversity training, policies, and user involvement, discriminatory practices can be minimized and they can decrease. Perception in the workplace includes the fact that Black women in their workplace face challenges, including less feelings of being treated with respect and not feeling like valued members of their team. Plus, having lower rates of promotion compared to white women. There are also issues like racism, violence, and bullying, which always happen during our everyday lives. Now, after all what I've told you, we know that discrimination is a pretty bad thing, and we have to advocate for equality for every race. Thank you for listening to me, and goodbye.